All right, you don't know this. No, you do, because I told you this already.
Okay.
I've been excited for this for a long time.
Yes.
Getting you at the bar, just talking to you. But my favorite thing is you actually want a cocktail.
I want a cocktail.
You're not down with the mocktail today, so we're gonna do mango mint margarita. Sound okay?
Sounds good.
All right. You're from Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, like, we met at a Genius Network event, right?
Long time ago.
And then I think we got reconnected at a Steve Sims event. And it kind of, everything flourished from there because I knew you.
Yep.
And I had mad respect for you. And I'll explain that in 1 second. But then we, some way, somehow ended up working together. The company you co-own hired me as a consultant to do some mindset and EQ work with your team as you guys are going through a pretty massitive transition.
Yes.
Right? So then all of a sudden we became connected personally and professionally. I thought it was great.
Yep.
And you know, I don't know. I always think about this whenever I have somebody at the bar, right? Like, why did I ask you? And the reason for you is so simple for me. I've never in my life met an executive who blends corporate strategy and emotional intelligence as well as you do. It's crazy. You have all the left brain business strategic part, but you have such a right brain people person. You get people, you understand people. And even when I came to your offices to do work with your team, I even watched, like, in real time, you providing support and care and consideration for the team around. It's just you've always been so impressive to me. I know it's how do you just sit there and not be awkward about that?
I'll just sit here and take it.
Right? No, you should, because you've always been so impressive to me, and that's the major reason why. So I know it's like it's an awkward place to start. I even admit that, but like, have you leadership? That's you. When I think about you, I think about leadership. Have you always been like that? Like, have you always been able to see strategy and people so clearly?
You know, I think I did, but I don't think I knew that I did, if that makes sense.
It does, completely, yeah.
So, I go all the way back to when I was in college. I got a job at a jewelry store.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was watching not only the dynamics of, like, corporate culture, of top down, of the interactions amongst, like, call it just our core team unit within there.
Yeah.
And I remember looking around and I was like, this is really interesting because there's a lot of personalities. There's a lot of different things at play. There's expectations, there's hierarchies, there's all these things. And I was sitting there going, quite frankly, some of the people that are making decisions are kind of terrible at it. And they're super disconnected from it. And I watched so many times of how people truly never felt seen or heard and appreciated. So
that's well said.
I think that that's where it started, honestly, is just observance. And a discomfort with how things were structured.
I mean, that's real leadership though, isn't it? Being able to watch and understand what's missing. You know what I mean? And that, I mean, we were talking before camera started rolling. So I have a loose understanding of what you're up to next. But I want to expand on that because I think for everyone watching and listening, there's so much validity and relatability to it. And so, but it's so you. Like you've basically distorted what would be considered a commonplace operating system in the corporate world, and you're making it more people-centric. So it's such an opaque question, but explain that because I'm going to break it into two questions, and I'll ask the second one after again. But the two questions I have are explain the system, but here's the real question I want to get to in a few minutes: explain how you came to it. To me, like, I love getting inside the minds of really, really insightful people and understanding the journey that took them from A to B. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So, interestingly enough, I was in college's corporate America, really young age, moved up the ladder pretty quickly. Then I shifted gears and I went into more of an entrepreneurial culture. And I've always been kind of one of those people that I want to sit back and take it all in as much as possible, right? Like, I like to take people in. I like to observe scenarios, conversations, interactions, those kind of things. And I noticed a bit of a disconnect. So, you think about an operating system, because that's the question that you asked. So many companies out there are operating off of a system because they're being sold a bill that says this helped XYZ company, typically corporate manufacturing, right, is really where it starts from. this helped XYZ company scale from nothing to $5 billion, $50 billion, like whatever that is. And if you don't implement this same system, you're never going to grow.
Yeah.
And so I watched it get implemented, and I've actually done it myself, where I've gone into companies and helped them put operating systems in place, because I do love strategy and I love growth. And I also,
it shows.
Yeah. So the business is amazing to me, and it's super exciting. But what I kept watching is it was like people trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. So what they were doing is they're trying to put this baseline of systems. They're being sold this idea of an org chart. Like, this is how you have to be structured. These are the systems that need to be in place. This is how you decide on.
Delicious. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm in love with that.
Now my whole focus is gone, and I just want that.
Drink up.
So, they're being told, like, this is how you're siloed, this is how you're structured, these are the things that need to happen, but never once is anybody talking about the people.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, there's this disconnect in, call it the business world, but really in the entrepreneurial space. Any entrepreneur who's looking to truly grow and just escalate their business, they're visionaries by nature. Yeah. I truly, my inner workings and where I'm fired up, I'm a visionary too. I can see something and I can see opportunity and I can jump on it, grow it, build it, all those things. But there's nothing closing the gap between the visionary and the system.
Okay. Yeah.
And the people are what live between that. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, who's taking care of them? Who's actually going through and saying, okay, well, you've got these 25 people in this org chart, but has anybody actually measured to see what their strengths are, or who they are as humans, and what drives them and what helps them? And then you're wondering why there's this gap between hitting that scalability and then the system that you're thinking is going to fix it. There was something missing there.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm not gonna keep pumping your tires, saying how awesome you are, but that's brilliant.
Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. In return, all you need to tell me is that my cocktail's amazing. Aside from that,
I was literally just gonna say that's brilliant.
Thank you. A little mint, mango.
That is
delicious. I actually threw in some
orange
juice, some fresh orange juice as well. So just kind of pipes up that lime in there.
I think we can just end here and I can just
I'm done. I feel good. Yeah, exactly. Right. No, you can finish it. We're good to keep going. Keep going. There's a lot of brilliance in that. And I was never as infused in corporate America as you are, or have been. Like I sat on the periphery. I was a consultant. You know what I mean? So I come in, I'm the hero for a couple of weeks. Everyone likes me and his energy's so great. And then I leave. Right. Whereas you're kind of in the fight all day, every day. And it must be a massive challenge. So the gifts you have are gifty. That left brain, right brain, right? It's undeniable how gifted that is. But it must come with challenges because you're also existing in an operating system as a visionary, trying to scale, trying to grow, but you see maybe it's with the lens of empathy, compassion, you see the struggles your team has had. I mean, am I describing that accurately?
100%.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And, I think back to, we all have our stories when we were kids, when we were, our trauma that we unpacked, our things that need to happen. And, I think back, and I grew up as a people-pleasing kid.
Okay.
And, I think that years of sitting and watching people and, my own situations and whatever, it's like I grew up trying to make sure that everybody around me was comfortable. Yeah. And I think that honestly transpired, whether it's healthy or not, it transpired into my work. So as time went on, I was that caretaker. I was that mother hen. I made the joke about I'm the rodeo clown that's been dancing, and it's freaking hard because it's draining. Yeah. And, I think that also if you're an empathetic person, you take on that energy as well. And that can be exhausting at the end of the day. So that's where, honestly, when I look at creating a structure around this like people system, it wasn't something that was just like, wow, I'm so smart and I have all these strategies and ideas. It was literally like self-preservation.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great way of looking at it.
Right. So I needed a system that could put in place that could logically make sense. That's not a one woman or a one man show to take care of the people.
That's brilliant. I've never distilled this down into any sort of system. But based on what you said, I think you're going to resonate immediately. Okay. Because as a counselor, that's something you have to be very mindful of, and every counselor sucks at for the first 3, 4, 5 years of their career. Taking on people's energy. Because you're dealing with trauma, people's trauma. You're dealing with their ambitions and striving, especially with like my area of expertise is high performance.
Yep.
So I'm working with Olympic athletes who are striving to a gold medal. I'm working with pro athletes who are striving to their next big contract. So I'm kind of taking in all this energy with no ability to control it, to mitigate it, or anything. You learn on the go, but it's exhausting, right? But the reason I say that is, like, how do you create a system that accounts for all of it? Because I'm just so interested, right? It's like what you're talking about is meant for the structure of a corporation, but I bet you could teach it to counselors, to healthcare workers, people who take on energy profile as a matter of what they do for a living. And I'm not trying to seed another idea for you.
Do you see my brain just starting to go like this?
You just chimed in on, but I mean, that's the kind of thing that a hospital could use.
Yeah.
That a counseling clinic could use. So, I mean, I don't know. I almost want you to describe it. Like, explain the system best you can without overgiving information you don't necessarily want to provide.
Yeah. You know, there's really one word that encapsulates all of it, and it's alignment.
Okay.
And I think that, you know, what it boils down to, there's so many great tools out there.
Yeah.
There's personality tests, there's assessments, there's discoveries, there's things where people can uncover more about themselves. Now, I think in any organization, being it in a group like a counselor setting or a hospital or entrepreneurial world or corporate America or whatever it is, it has to start from the top down because you need a self-aware leader.
Yep.
In order for any of this to work, you have to have a leader that is self-aware enough to say, you know what? I'm really good at a lot of things, but I'm not great at everything. Yeah. And I can't be great at everything because that's going to take away from my scalability, right? That's 101, 100%. Entrepreneurial 101. Yep. So what we've managed to do is pull together and say, what is the archetype of that leader? Be it a founder, a CEO, the entrepreneur. What is the archetype? Like, who are they as a human being? Not their accolades, not like whatever designations after their name, not their title, nothing like that, but who are they? Then we look at and say, where are the gaps? Like, where are the things that are blind spots? Like, Brian, if you came in and you're looking at my organization, you're going to find probably 25 different things that you're like,
it's objective from the outside.
Objective from the outside.
Right? Yeah.
These are things. And if I came into your organization and I said, CG, here's some things that I see, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's right in front of my nose, right? So we're looking at it saying, what are the gaps in the business? And then we're using different tools that we've created and some that we've partnered on to get to the depth of who the leaders are. Why do they operate the way they do? How do they make decisions? What is it that they actually bring to the table that's inherent in them? And then we collide it all. Like, that's literally the system.
So it's like a data dump.
It's a data dump.
Yeah, I love that.
And then we turn around and we say, okay, well, now we're looking at people's strengths. And now we're looking at who the leader is.
Right.
And now we're looking at all the gaps that need to be closed. So we're going to deliver a roadmap to help you get there.
Right.
And that's really as simple as it is. And people make it so hard.
It is brilliant, though. It becomes an operating system unique to the corporation based on the people involved, not the industry, the economy of the time.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I love that.
One of my, talk about smarts, like one of the smartest mentors that I've ever, had in my life, Jay Abraham.
Oh, brilliant, and wonderful human being.
Brilliant marketer. Yeah. One of the smartest. Like, sometimes you sit in a room and you're like, wow,
He's forgotten more than I'll ever know.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to go read a book.
Yeah, exactly, right.
But one of the things that he was so great at, and he says this way better than I do, but he was looking at all these different industries saying, what's working here? What's working over there? How do I cross-pollinate? How do I say what's working in real estate and apply it to financial advisor world? What is not working in banking? And how do I make sure we don't replicate that into another industry? And so that's part of the magic too, is like, when you boil it down, you talk to a business owner, you talk to entrepreneurs, everybody's got the same stuff. And in today's world, the people.
Absolutely.
The people.
The difference makers.
Yeah. But they're also really hard to retain in today's environment, and they're really hard to attract.
Yeah.
So why don't we look at the strengths on the team? And I promise I'm gonna get off my soapbox on this because I just get so passionate about it. So there's a saying that I lived by for years: slow to hire, quick to fire.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So this is literally a recent thing. I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, so before we can jump into the quick to fire notion, especially today where talent is super limited, are we really, like, if we're really being honest with ourselves, are we doing that because that's what we've been told and that's what some of the most brilliant business gurus have always said?
Yeah.
Or do we need to maybe spend a little bit more time and get a little bit more humble and really understand, is it just a strengths thing?
Yeah. It reminds me of somebody, a mentor of mine said this to me. I think it'll resonate. He said, right bus, wrong seat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As opposed to being quick to fire. They're on the right bus. You just have them parked on the wrong seat.
You got them parked in the wrong seat. That is exactly it.
I said before, I'm not going to keep pumping your tires. I promise you I won't. But I will give you this one. Jay Abraham is brilliant. But I've always thought of him as savant. He doesn't even realize. He can look at different things and quickly find the patterns.
Yes.
But when it comes to people, so can you. And I don't think you know that. You look at a workforce and find the patterns and it jumps out at you. It wouldn't necessarily jump out of everybody. But you have the ability to hear that, see that, feel that. It's interesting. A couple of things are coming to mind right now. I mean, in my formal education, but also in my professional life, certain elements of Eastern philosophy have been a strong influence on me, and Taoism is probably the biggest. And Taoism, the central theme of Taoism is called Wu Wei. Two words, W-U-W-E-I, Wu Wei. And for years upon years, because original Taoism was written in a now no longer used dialect of Chinese. So everything's translated from centuries ago. And for years in the West, we thought Wu Wei translated as no effort. No effort. Now, do you remember the book and the documentary, The Secret?
Yes.
Yeah, they kind of rotated around that no effort. It wasn't their fault. I'm not, chiding them or anything, but it was manifestation happens through thinking, through considering. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Did I give you mint?
The mint came out. I'm sorry. I'm tuned in.
No worries at all. That's what it's there for.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, just in case.
Okay.
But no, the book and the documentary kind of manifested that way, right? Sit, think through what you want, gravitationally pull it towards you. But it wasn't until the 1980s in the West that we started glimmering that Wu Wei doesn't actually translate to no effort. The real translation is no force. Which is very different.
It's very different.
Very different. So effort is required for anything successful.
Hands down.
But force is a different mechanism. If I'm forcing myself into a job category, a job description. Our mutual friend, Dr. Gary Sanchez, says this beautifully. He says, you can be good with numbers, but it doesn't mean you're going to be a good bookkeeper. Because the job itself, it steals your soul. You know what I mean? So no force, I think, is what you're after. Right people, right bus, wrong seat. Get everybody on the right seat. You enter into that place of Wu Wei, which now means no force, effortless. So it becomes more effortless at large. Is that a fair representation of it all?
That is an extremely fair representation. And that's what I kept hearing too. And honestly, I got really frustrated recently. I was sitting there listening to a gentleman speak, and the guy, super smart, cannot take anything away from this person, rolling out another operating system. And I physically felt myself just cringing in my seat, because I'm like, we need to stop regurgitating this. People are sitting in here going, oh yeah, that's what I need now. Oh, I tried this one over here, but this is the one that I need. This is going to solve my life's problems. And I'm sitting there going, man, you're going to get to the same frustration. So when you're talking about that, no force, I see people all the time in business, and it's anytime you're trying to grow, and we all hit ceilings of complexity. We all you grow and everything's good. And then all of a sudden it's oh my gosh, this is horrible.
The plateau.
The plateau. Right? And then you're oh, everything's great again. And then you're no, this is terrible.
We become dopamine junkies.
Yes.
Right?
Because you're chasing that next, right? But what I constantly hear is it's people are trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. And that's the problem, I think, in business, is it doesn't have to be hard. Not in the essence that there's not hard times or hard things you have to do.
Challenges, sure.
Challenges, sleepless nights. I saw something the other day that was hilarious. It's I love being an entrepreneur so I can set my own schedule. When I wake up at 2 a.m. and I doubt all of my life's choices.
But so true.
But it's true. So I just think that we make business so complex. A lot of us are dopamine chasers. And we like the thrill. Dan Sullivan, the creator of Strategic Coach, has this whole concept about how a lot of entrepreneurs are arsonists. They will literally go start fires just so they can go put them out. And I think
there's truth to that.
It is so true. And I'm but why are we torturing ourselves? So I just think that if we put a little bit more effort into the people and a little less obsession with the process,
sure,
I think we're gonna go further faster.
I love it. I want to give you one piece of feedback based on what you said. And then I want to give something to you that you tell me if you agree with. And I always say to my guests, I'm not sure, I don't want to be right.
Well, you know I'll disagree with you if I don't agree.
100% you are Brittany Anderson. I absolutely know that, right? So here's my first observation. One of the things I love about the system you've kind of regaled for us here, you kept referring to the leadership archetype. But what I love is that, and this is not true with a lot of other operating systems I'm familiar with, you're not saying this is what the archetype has to be. You're saying, let's discover what your archetype is and build something underneath you that sustains that properly.
Exactly.
I got that right.
Yep,
correct?
you got that right.
And that's what I love, because so many times I've heard it the exact other way. This is the leader you need. No, this is the leader I am.
Yep.
Let's build something that works underneath that.
Exactly.
That's brilliant all by itself.
Yep. Okay.
Awesome. Now I'm going to admit, this one's going to go out into the galaxy for a second.
Okay.
Right? And I don't mean to be gendered. This isn't even, it's not meant to be a man-woman thing. Because, again, back to Taoism, we all know the drawing. I mean, every fourth person has the yin-yang tattooed on their body somewhere.
Just trying to think if I have it.
Yeah, pretty common, right? But most people don't know what it means in all its dissected form.
Yep.
Okay, so a few characteristics. One bleeds into the other because one can become the other, which is true.
Yep.
It's in a circle because it's interminable. It's meant to illustrate that this is the energetic force that survives forever.
Yeah.
It'll outlive you, it'll outlive me, right?
Okay.
The other thing is that we don't have to talk about men and women. It doesn't matter. You have yin and yang energy in you, and so do I.
Yep.
And yin being more feminine in its dominance, that doesn't imply women. It implies creativity, wisdom, patience, often which are attributed to maternal natures.
Sure.
So women probably more than men.
Yep.
Yang dominance is very masculine, but that doesn't mean male. It just directed, action-oriented, protective, often attributed more in our society to men.
Yep.
Why do I say all of that? It's just to arrive here. I think your system, the one you've kind of, again, displayed a little bit for us today, I think a woman had to create that. I really do. I think a yin dominant, a yin energy person needs to look at a business and say, but where are the people?
Yes.
I get it. That's the marketing end. That's the fiscal end. This is the administrative end. But in between all these ends are the people, and we're not accounting for them properly.
Yeah.
And I can say that needs to be a yin-dominated person who'd see it that way. In our society, yin domination's almost always a woman. A woman had to look at a corporate structure and say, we've got this fucked up.
Yep.
Have had for 150 years. Let me show you how this is supposed to look.
Yep.
You're a mom, you're a wife. When I say it to you that way, does that resonate at all? Like, look, a woman had to come in here and say, look, we've been fucking this up for decades.
Yes.
Does that resonate?
It does.
Yeah.
And thank you for putting that out there.
Okay, good. I was hoping not to offend.
No, it's not offensive.
Mean, not you. Anybody else, I don't care.
Yeah.
I hope not to offend you.
No. So this is interesting, actually. I think about my whole journey, like to where I am today, right? Not going all the way back to birth and childhood and all that, but really my professional journey. And as I kind of, let's just call it, climbed the ranks, discovered myself, started my businesses, shut down some businesses, had some go really, really well, and then others that were maybe not so much. And all of this like observance and participation and experience and all these things happening. If you look at the typical demographic up to this point, right? There were a lot of, call it baby boomer men, if you look at the generation.
Yeah.
That has been traditionally the demographic that has owned businesses, right? If you look at statistics.
Without question,
okay?
absolutely, yeah.
So again, I'm not also trying to stereotype anything, just laying out the facts.
It's
and
data.
I'm terrible with statistics on remembering them off the top of my head, but there's so much around this. So I think what's happened is there was this generation of like lead with force. So you said that word earlier and it tripped in my head. I'm like, man, that's what's been happening. Lead with force. It's rule with the iron fist. It's we're just going to do this and you're going to go head down and you're going to get the job done. You're not going to whine. You're not going to complain because I don't really care about your work-life balance and all those things. And it's not to their fault. It's just that's whatever the generation before them, they started operating in that way for whatever reason, okay? So now I think there's this shift happening. And me as a woman who is an entrepreneur, who has watched all of these things, I've worked in so many different businesses, so many different industries, I just started looking around going, okay, there's two things here. Yes, we need to take care of people, but also I'm really lonely.
Wow.
And so there are groups out there that are made for, call it like a second in command. Like that person that works alongside.
The operating officer.
The operating officer. Okay, there's resources out there.
Sure.
There's some entrepreneurial groups that maybe have a focus on women, but what I experienced, and again, this isn't all, but what I experienced is I was like, I don't know if I fit into some of those groups because of maybe belief systems or, even in how I engage with people or whatever. And so I just started feeling really lonely and I'm looking around and I'm going, there needs to be more space for, I can't imagine I'm the only person in the world that feels this way. And there needs to be a space where people feel taken care of. And like, I would like to feel taken care of. So if I start doing it for others, I think naturally I'm going to find something that fits. That is literally, if I were to look back and say, this is the turning point, or this is why I even started focusing on this, is because I was lonely and I didn't feel like I had anybody that was going, you know what, Brittany, let's really get to know you as a human being. And I looked around and I was like, other people are suffering and I think I can fix it.
That's brilliant. You've created a woman's based corporate thing. I don't know enough about it, so I'm doing a really shitty job. How about I turn it over to you, Britt? But is what you just explained where that came from?
Yeah. So
I want to add to that after, but I want to earmark that in my own brain before I.
So it's not really corporate focused. Okay. I will say that. Basically, again, this goes back to feeling like I didn't have a space to go to. Also showing up in a lot of masterminds, like high level masterminds with people that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's where I met you. Like, we're in the same mastermind. I'm like, Brian Grasso is smart. Like, holy cow, this guy's got his stuff together.
Tattooed for you.
It was the tattoos. It was absolutely tattoos. But I'm sitting in those rooms and I'm like, they're predominantly male. And I was there's two examples. I'll just give you one of them. But there was a woman so stinking smart, so capable. She was absolutely killing it. She was in the attorney space.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there in a breakout group with her or whatever. And she gets kind of emotional and she's talking about how her business is thriving. Like she has achieved more than most people could dream of. Her business is thriving. But she had waited a really, really long time to start a family because she was focused on business. And now, because of a different variety of factors, they had one amazing, beautiful child they couldn't have anymore. And so that weighed on her. She's sitting in these rooms and she's going, okay, well, I'm very lucky because my husband and my son travel with me. But if I'm not at the swimming pool with them and I'm sitting in this room, they're bummed out. My son in particular. And if I'm out there, then I'm feeling like I'm not doing myself a disservice by being in this room. And so I'm just going to quit. And I have to go back and I have to reassess. And I sat there and I was gutted by that because I was like, first of all, why can't your son just sit in the room? Like, why can't he participate? Why can't he see how much of a badass mom is? Like, and why haven't we cultivated a space for women to show up authentically as themselves and not feel like they have to be if or this or, this delineation that doesn't need to happen. And so that is really where part of the concept of what is the Trailblazers now was born.
That's what you were saying before. Trailblazers, I love it.
So it's really about bringing women together, giving them space and community, a place where they can celebrate success, where they can talk about money, where they can talk about roadblocks, where they can talk about things that maybe they can't talk about their friends or even some of their male counterparts for whatever reason. And it just creates this awesome space. And the future vision of it is I want to bring more women up. So I want to have all of the women who are killing it, 7-8-figure female entrepreneurs, but I also want the women in the room that are going to reach back and go, you know what, sis, come along with me. I'm going to show you how it's done. You do not have to reinvent the wheel and you do not have to be alone.
Because lonely is what you felt.
Because that's what I felt.
I I'm not going to keep pumping your tires. I've said that 4 times now, but I'm about to pump your tires. But I'm going to tell you a story to explain this, right? My dad passed away recently, about a year and a half ago. Yeah. And, first of all, let me say this. While he was in his late 80s, and my father was Italian. So, I mean, those two things usually mean stubborn. Yep. Mm-hmm. Very illiberal, so very conservative-minded, right? But he was neither of those things. And this story illustrates that. I saw a rise of every other podcast by a guy had alpha in the title somewhere, right? Whatever, just an observation. Mm-hmm. So one day, I used to get wisdom from my dad in different ways. I used to ask him questions, and he didn't realize I was actually in need of an answer. He thought we were just talking, right? Yeah. So one day I asked him, I said, Dad, keeping in mind, very Italian, very 88 years old, right? So I said, Dad, what do you think about men who refer to themselves as alpha? He paused, he considered, and he goes, I think if you call yourself an alpha, that's pretty proof positive that you aren't one. And I thought that was brilliant. Yes. Now, why do I say that? This is what always is, what's the word? What's the best word for admiration? Why I've always had so much admiration for you is that, take your success, whatever, it's great. Take your fantastic. But my admiration is based on this. Just an observation, I don't love the women who call themselves boss babes and boss bitches, because it's the guy who refers to himself as an alpha. Mm-hmm. If you're a boss bitch, you don't have to say it. Mm-mm. Everybody already knows. That's you. I've always thought that about you, is that you have a natural leadership, a very authentic way of carrying yourself and explaining concepts and creating concepts that become world moving. And I'm just so in love with this corporate 2.0 version of how you help corporations see themselves. And let me finish by saying this. One of the smartest things I've ever done in my entrepreneurial space is it was just a happenstance, a recommendation from a friend. I posted on social media, I'm looking for this. And a friend of mine happened to say, oh, I got somebody just like that. Her name's Alicia. You got to meet her. So we arranged a time for a Zoom call. I had a call. I don't even think Alicia knows this. I knew inside the first 7 seconds, yep, exactly. Wow. Just the energy. Mm-hmm. Smart, insightful, talented, work ethic off the charts, but an incredible leadership energy that surrounds her. Yeah. And, she's corporate officer of this company, and that's a really stupid title for somebody who basically is right beside me at every decision we make. But the reason I bring her up is the same reason I say to you, like, sometimes we have to understand that energy is what it is, and sometimes the right man for a job is a woman, and there's just no way around that.
I mean, amen.
Yeah, there's just no way around it, because you see the people involved in the corporate structure where most men would never see that. They're looking at the X's and O's. And sometimes I say it this way: you're playing 3D chess. Guys are playing checkers, because the games aren't computing. It's not the same game. Yeah. And again, it's not even intended to be gendered and one gender is more important. No. It's not about that. It's just some things need somebody that have strong yang energy, and that's often a man. Yep. Some things need to have strong yin energy, and that's often a woman. Yes. So your system is to my brand what Alicia is, which is that strong yin presence that makes sense of it all. Yep. So is this something you're actively putting into corporations right now?
Yeah. So we have, it's funny too, because
that was a long fucking story I just told you. I'm sorry if that was too long.
It wasn't too long. I was like, I was invested. So it's funny because myself and my business partner, we met at Genius Network, right?
That's where everybody meets.
That's where everybody meets. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's here in Arizona, just so you know.
It's here. Joe Polish is awesome.
He's great.
So we're in this meeting and we have these conversations, and she's talking about some of her consultancy work and helping people grow and exit all the way to 9 figures. And I'm talking about the things that I've had, the impact. And we sat back and we're like, this is really eerie, because we essentially do the same thing, but very strongly different skill sets at the same time.
Yeah.
And so we have more recently brought this together under like formal brand. And so, yeah, we're working with entrepreneurs, we're working with corporate America. We even have some organizations that are kind of trying to figure out where they are on the scale.
Right.
They're like, I don't identify as an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner.
Okay.
And I have team members, right? It's a little bit different, right? And they're like, I have team and I just need to figure out how to bring it all together because I have growth goals. So yeah, that's ultimately what we're doing.
So it's already in the world right now.
It's already in the world.
I love that for you. I love that for the people who get to work with you as well.
Thank you.
Like this is the first time I'm hearing about it, right?
Yeah.
Live on this,
true.
right now. So I've always been your biggest fan, and I'm a bigger fan. I didn't know that was possible. I am sorry I choked you with the mint, though. I should have told you.
No, I think I was just like gulping it down because it was so delicious.
Well, you can't leave until that's done. Just
I'm not. I'm part of the crew now. So
I mean, is there can I learn more about is there a website or something?
Yeah. So we've got actually 2 different sites. So there's align-ps.com.
Okay.
Little dash. And then it's the Trailblaze Hers with the hers at the end, .com also.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the goods are there. It's actually all rolled up onto my own personal site.
Even better.
BrittanyAnderson.com.
Doesn't get
the most easy name on the planet, Brittany Anderson.
I better have this right after all these years, but it is BRITTANY.
You got it.
Anderson.com.
I am impressed.
That's my biggest suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was
Thanks
great.
for having me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.